Welcome back to the education series on the 22 SmokinAceS YouTube channel. Hope you're staying along for the ride. Hopefully you've learned some cool stuff so far about the massive and wonderful world of supplements. So today we're going to be going through another taboo subject among the fitness industry, that is fat burners. What are they? Do they work? Can they turn you into a shredded Greek god? Okay, well, I'm here to kind of just cut through the bullshit as we do, as we did with pre-workouts and protein powders, and just kind of give you some solid and decent information on what actually works, what is backed by science, what I've used and tried, what to look out for, and how to pick the best fat burner for you. So first of all, I've written here disclaimer, okay? Now, like anything, but especially fat burners, they only work if you are in a calorie deficit, okay? If you're running, if you're eating, 4,000 calories a day, but you're training like a madman and you start adding fat burners, just because you're sweating more doesn't mean you're burning more fat, okay? Unfortunately, fat burners, people believe they directly burn fat, which is not the case, okay? You're better to be in a calorie deficit and not take any supplements than you are to not be in a calorie deficit and take all the supplements under the sun. So I just want to clear that up first of all, okay? So fat burners are a tool, a supplement that we take when our body hits some kind of a plateau. So if you've been dieting for 3 months and you start, you've dropped a lot of body fat so far and you start to plateau, adding in fat burners can give you exceptional results. We're going to come on to kind of, the importance of timing of when taking such supplements, or any supplement for that matter. So first of all, we're going to go into my favorite 4 ingredients that actually directly result in the body being able to burn more fat. So the first one is an ingredient called L-Carnitine. Now, L-Carnitine comes in many forms. You've got L-Carnitine L-tartrate, you've got N-acetyl L-Carnitine, you've got pure L-Carnitine, you've got GPLC. There's many different kinds of L-Carnitine, but carnitine is like the creatine of the fat burning world. And what I mean by that is it's got the most science behind it. It's the one that is proven. It's the one that kind of gives guaranteed results if it's utilized correctly. So what does L-Carnitine do? So our body are full of cells, and each cell has what's called a mitochondria. The mitochondria is essentially the molecule that controls that cell. Now, for that cell to work, it needs an energy source, whether it's sugar, whether it's glucose, whether it's whatever it is, okay? What L-Carnitine will do, L-Carnitine will actually shove fatty acids into the mitochondria to be utilized as energy. So if you're in a calorie deficit, go back to this, and you're training on an empty stomach, doing fasted cardio, whether it's high intensity training, whether you're doing an hour bike ride, doesn't matter what it is, taking L-Carnitine will actually use body fat, provided the body's in a fasted state. It'll utilize body fat as an energy source, hence the term using body fat as a fuel source, burning body fat, okay? L-Carnitine's great. You can take it on its own. I've just added it to my supplement regimen now because I've hit a bit of a plateau with my fat loss and I'm already feeling the results after 4 days of taking it. You want to dose it between 2 and 4 grams a day. The one I use is actually 3,000 milligrams. So I actually just take it once a day in the morning while the kettle's boiling for my morning coffee. I just take one shot to the dome. Very refreshing, out of the fridge. It's great. You can choose any brand of L-Carnitine. L-Carnitine is fantastic. Like I said, you don't really feel any kind of thermogenesis as such. You're not going to feel warm from taking it, but over time you will notice that you are significantly leaner once again if you're still in a calorie deficit. Okay, so the second on my essential list of fat burning supplements is an ingredient called GBB, which is obviously which is an abbreviation for gamma butyrobtane. Now, GBB is an ingredient that it's basically, it converts in your body to naturally produced L-Carnitine. L-Carnitine is naturally in our bodies, okay? It's a natural amino acid. GBB will actually convert into L-Carnitine. Now, a lot of supplement companies nowadays, because they're trusting the science more and there's more research, they'll actually release a fat-burning product that will have both L-Carnitine and GBB. The one that I take, 5% nutrition, 3150 L-Carnitine, contains both L-Carnitine and GBB. It basically just enhances the effect of L-Carnitine, and you're also getting a natural source from your body because this converts into it. There's actually some gurus they believe that when you actually take these two together, the process of GBB converting into L-Carnitine is actually has a thermogenic effect. It increases the internal temperature of the body, which is going to lead to more sweating. Then we've got something called Paradoxine. Paradoxine is a patented form for a product called grains of paradise, a phoronium extract, which is actually a plant extract. Paradoxine's fantastic. There's a lot of science behind it. What Paradoxine does as an ingredient is our body basically has two kinds of fat cells, to keep it simple. We've got white adipose tissue and we've got brown adipose tissue. So white adipose tissue is basically stored body fat. Okay, so if you grab the fat around your tummy or your love handles, whatever, it's basically it's basically white adipose tissue. Now, brown adipose tissue is basically our fat cells that can be utilized as energy. So what Paradoxine does, it actually converts white fat cells into brown fat cells. Okay, so going back to the L-Carnitine, obviously the Paradoxine is going to convert stored body fat into usable body fat, and the L-Carnitine and the GBB is actually going to use those body fat as an energy source if, once again, you're in your calorie deficit and you're doing that kind of fasted activity, or you're kind of pushing the body hard. So Paradoxine is a fantastic ingredient. When I take this, I actually feel quite warm. Finally, we've got Capsimax. Capsimax, once again, is just a trademark form. Capsimax is capsicum, which is what you find in a lot of spicy curries. A lot of Asian and Indian recipes have it. Capsimax is essentially, basically is the purest form. It's going right to the source. Taking this is going to make you feel warm, okay? It'll make the supplement you're taking, if it's dosed highly enough, it'll make the product have quite a kick to it. But what it will also do is it will naturally increase your internal temperature. Now, there's a lot of bogus and bullshit and a lot of bro science out there that says that Capsimax melts the fat on the inside of your body, which is the most ridiculous, absurd thing that I've ever heard. What it will do is it will increase the internal temperature of your body, which will in turn make you sweat more, which will make you hyperventilate more, which will allow the body to work harder. Once again, all of these work synergistically. There's a lot more ingredients out there, but these are my 4 go-to. If I had to only pick 3 out of the 4, I would probably go L-Carnitine, Paradoxine, and Capsimax. GBB is just a nice little addition. So, moving on, okay? What else can we have in a fat burner? Now, most fat burners are known for giving you a crazy stimulant effect, okay? There's one out there called Shreddable, which is by Anabolic Designs. It's banned here in the UK, and most of the world has banned it, just simply because of the stimulant effect. People would take it and feel like they want to go party in a nightclub. That's not really my cup of tea. It may be yours, but it's definitely not mine. There's no science to suggest that having a stimulant-based fat burner will necessarily increase your body fat. But what it does do, if you're in a calorie deficit and you're struggling for energy in the mornings or struggling before your workout, taking stimulants can actually can give you that energy boost, can give you that mental boost. There's also science to suggest that caffeine is actually a thermogenic compound. It's a thermogenic product. So if you take caffeine, and once again, I keep going back to the calorie deficit, if you're taking it, it can actually enhance the fat loss. Okay, other stimulants. I touched on this on the pre-workout. This is obviously person dependent. You've got ingredients like dynamine, N-extra, teacrine. These are all different variations of caffeine. For example, teacrine will give you the increased mental alertness and cognitive enhancement without increased heart rate. So if you're someone that is sensitive to caffeine, teacrine is a different option. N-extra, once again, is a trademarked ingredient. N-extra actually enhances the effectiveness of caffeine. So when you look for a fat burner, you can look for one that has caffeine and N-extra together to give you more of a kick up the arse in the morning. It's tailored to his caloric needs, but he doesn't take anything. He just starts off in a calorie deficit, and he trains with. He goes to the gym with Johnny. He does his cardio with Johnny. So we've got Freddie and Johnny. They're both doing an hour's cardio a day, an hour's weight training a day. They're both in a calorie deficit. Okay. But as we said, Johnny's taking fat burners, he's taking caffeine pills, he's taking clenbuterol T3, okay? Now, his next door neighbour Freddie doesn't take any of these. All he does is stay in a calorie deficit. Now, at the end of the first month, Johnny's lost 14 pounds, okay? But Freddie's only lost 5 pounds. However, in month 2, Freddie adds a fat burner to the mix and he starts taking 3 grams of L-Carnitine a day and he takes 50 milligrams of GBB, okay? Then he runs that for a month, okay? But he's still in a calorie deficit. Meanwhile, Johnny's maxed out, okay? He's always wired beyond belief. He feels, he feels on top of the world. Month 2, Johnny loses another 3 pounds, but Freddie loses another 5 pounds, okay? So that means that Freddie, the one who's doing it sensibly, who's doing this bit by bit, he's lost 10 pounds altogether, and Johnny's lost, what, 14, so he's lost about 18, 19, 20 pounds. Forgive me on the math, I'm just trying to be metaphoric here. So, at the end of month 2, Freddie starts to plateau, so now he adds grains of paradise and he adds Capsimax into his plan. So he's in a calorie deficit for the first month. Month 2, he added 2 ingredients. Month 3, he added 2 more, okay? And he drops another 5-6 pounds that month, okay? Meanwhile, Johnny's not losing any more weight. Why? Because his body has got used to all of this. Month 4 comes around, okay? Freddie drops, he's dropped, consistent, steady weight. He can't really drop his calories anymore because he's already on in a deficit. So now he adds Yohimbine into the mix. And this month he drops 10 pounds. So what I'm trying to say to you is, okay, the best thing with any supplement, especially fat burning, is get the most out of doing as little as possible. So start with your calorie deficit. When you plateau, then you can add these into the mix. Add just L-Carnitine by itself. Run that for a month, 6 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, whatever it is, okay? Then add other ingredients. Once you plateau, then you can add stimulants, okay? If you plateau again, you can play around with your diet, okay? Ideally, you don't want to touch these. But if you're going to touch them, play them at the right time, okay? Because by the time the summer comes, Johnny is running dangerous dosage of clenbuterol. He's shaking like a shitting dog all day. He's running dangerous amounts of T3. He's taking double the dose anyone would recommend of ECA and he feels nothing. He's smashing the Yohimbine and he looks the same all summer, okay? And he feels burnt out. He feels he's got no energy. He's lethargic. Why? Because he's exhausted every option and his body is just fried. Whereas Freddie is lean, he's shredded, he's lost the weight more sustainably, and he's not taking stupid doses of all these ingredients to get desired effects. So, our ACE card, each one of these is an ACE card, okay? There's a lot more ACE cards. Changing your training, switching up how you train, switching gyms can be an ACE card. Taking pre-workouts in addition to fat burners can be another ACE card. You need to play them at the right time, okay? So that's just my top tip when it comes to fat burners. If you've got any questions, feel free to comment below or email 22SmokinAceS email in the link below. And let me know what you want to see, people. Do you want to see more supplement stuff in terms of nitty-gritty of supplements? Do you want to know the best way to stack them? You tell me what you want and I'll do my best for you. Until the next time, people, if you haven't already, hit the like, share and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. You can get all the 22SmokinAceS swag merch, stickers, caps, badges, hats, t-shirts, everything from the website, which is the link below. Until the next time, people, I'll see you next time. Peace. Okay, now moving on to the grey area, the taboo area, PEDs, performance enhancing drugs. Okay, now this is a grey area because obviously, it's kind of, people have different views on these. I can tell you from experience, all of these work. The reason that they work is because they're tried, they're tested, people use them, but obviously they come with potential side effects. Now, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of the PED fat burners there are, simply because obviously, this is information for everyone. So I don't want people to think that you're a newbie in the gym, you've just started your weight loss journey and you can dive into the deep end with these. You'll get results, but you've got to be wary of the risks as well. So you've got something like clenbuterol. Clenbuterol is what a lot of bodybuilders take. It's extremely effective at burning body fat. What you also find with clenbuterol as well, it can increase your lung capacity. The reason it was invented originally was as a drug for asthmatics like me. But what they found as a side effect is it can really, you know, cause one to lose a lot of weight. T3, which is essentially thyroxine, thyroid medication. This obviously, you know, your thyroid is what regulates appetite and obviously natural weight control, weight loss, or, you know, weight gain. So taking that can help. You've got ECA stack, which is ephedrine, caffeine, and aspirin, an old school, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger era fat burning combination. And then we've got Yohimbine. Yohimbine is fantastic. Yohimbine, I find, is probably the safest of all of those. It's the one that I do use. Yohimbine is banned in the UK, but it's legal in well, a lot of parts of Europe and especially over in North America. Yohimbine actually burns the stubborn body fat areas, so taking it towards the latter end of a bodybuilding prep, or towards you know, the last few weeks of your fat burning journey and your diet, is the best time to take Yohimbine. So like I said, I just wanted to touch on those. So we've got proven fat burning ingredients that actually physically, if you're in a calorie deficit, will help your body to be in a better fat burning state. We've got the stimulant based, caffeine being the most common one. You know, you can take stronger things like DMHA, 2-amino-isoheptane. You've got banned ones like DMAA, 1,3-dimethylamine. There's loads, okay? This is dependent on the individual. And then obviously we've got the PEDs, clenbuterol, T3, ECA, and Yohimbine. There's loads of others, okay? I wanted to keep it simple for you guys. So when looking for a fat burner, okay, the first thing you want to look for is, does it have any of these, okay? It may have L-Carnitine, but what's the dosage? If it's only got 200 milligrams, then you're pissing in the wind. You need to be getting between 2,000 and 4,000 milligrams a day, 2 to 4 grams, to be efficacious and effective. GBB, that usually is between 25 and 100 milligrams. I'd say 50 is the norm. That's what we've got in the 5% one. Grains of paradise, paradoxine. Once again, this is going to actually help your body convert white into brown fat cells to make them readily available for energy. Then we've got Capsimax, which is capsicum, which is a spice in a high dose. Trust me, this will really light you on fire. Like, I'm using a fat burner at the moment, and it's got a lot of this in it. And after about 15 minutes of taking it, I mean, I can taste it when I'm drinking it. It almost makes me shudder, like taking a shot of vodka, because it does burn. But after 10, 15 minutes, like just walking around the house, I'm just starting to sweat. I get nasal drip, you know, my mouth starts to water. I can really feel this working. Obviously, stimulants based on the individual. You know, you can go as hardcore or as, you know, mild as you want, but obviously look for caffeine. That is a pretty decent one. Now, one thing I wanted to talk about, top tip, okay, and I've got my ACE here, okay, not just for the Smoking Aces, but obviously each and every tool you have at your convenience, whether it's a supplement, whether it's a diet trick, like switching to low carb or carb cycling or keto or whatever it is, each one of those tools is an ACE card, okay? And an ACE card is used to enhance the effectiveness, okay, to enhance the effectiveness of what your goals are. So for example, let's say you take a guy called Johnny, and first week of January he's decided he wants to lose 2 stone. And first thing he does, week 1, is he gets in a calorie deficit. He takes a fat burner with all of these. He takes loads of stimulants. He adds some clenbuterol and some T3, and he starts training like a madman. He does an hour of weights every day and an hour of cardio. He is going to lose weight, okay? Just in the fact that he's got himself in a calorie deficit. Now, what happens after a month? Okay, let's say he's lost a stone in a month. How can he attribute that weight loss? Is it because he was taking caffeine? Or is it because he was taking Paradoxine and Capsimax? Or is it because he was taking T3 and Clen? Or is it because he was training like a madman? He doesn't know. Johnny doesn't know that because he's played all his ACE cards at once, so he's got nothing left to play. Now, the only way he's going to grow on that is either by coming off everything and resetting the system, or what's going to happen is he needs to start increasing dosages. You know what I'm saying? And this is why, going back to pre-workouts, people can like double scoop a crazy stimulant pre-workout and feel nothing. It's because they need to give their body a break and they need to start from scratch. So then we've got Johnny's next door neighbor. Okay, we'll call him Freddie. Okay, Freddie starts exactly the same diet plan. Okay, he starts the same diet plan. It's tailored to his caloric needs, but he doesn't take anything. He just starts off